on round number 1 between PENTA Sports and ARES eSports.
Interesting that they're going to start here on lobby. This is definitely a good secondary for them. Hopefully they've got a good strat for it, but I do like the way they play this. So ARES hopefully were prepared for this because, you know, their operator picks need to reflect, especially this first round strategy, to try and get that edge against PENTA, because you know it's going to be a struggle going further on into the map. You need an early point. They are bringing that Legion as well. Fabian talking about not bringing that out just to bring that out. Still going to be the one to bring that out, ironically enough. I guess he didn't build it around that operator, though, right?
No. PENTA plays the operators they feel comfortable playing, and it just so happens to be that that is basically every operator on the deck.
Yeah, they will definitely, much like ENCE, they're very flexible in their operator picks because they're a very team-oriented team, and that's shown on in their win rate.
Now, we are having a little bit of a different bathroom hold here by KS. Typically, you have that mirror window facing piano, but it seems as though they're going to be facing that back hallway.
Yeah, I guess they're counting on Fabian to be able to hold yellow stairs and piano. KS be able to use it. He has the shotgun to open up some of the wall if he needs some accessibility into that room, but not going to do so by default. Doesn't want to give away any openings to the attackers if he doesn't need to. We do have Jack rather, on his IQ. Going to be able to get some intel, at least maybe catch some of those Legion traps, but it is risky to use that gadget indoors.
Now, we are going to have an admin push here. That's what Jack is going to be on this windowsill for, trying to force anyone outside of the bathrooms, which is where we're seeing Ella.
Oh, good contestant coming up here.
Eunice will navigate away safely. Right on the other side of, who is that? That is Stafiz. There's Stafiz going to toss in, and it looks like a couple shots going in. Eunice tags one down. Can he get another? Oh, he's going to drop shot and pick up a 2K. Goga got downed earlier on by a nade, and now that might be a 3K here as Eunice has just initiated one of her mines onto Jack, who's inside of the admin. That's going to be a 3K for him. Wonderful holding down the fort here inside of the admin building. We've got 2 attackers left. It's all to Koxi at the top of Circle Stairs and Voy on the very top of the Consulate.
That was some great play by Junis. I like how he used the mine to cover his flank. He stunned himself a little bit, but that gave away there was someone on the other side of it. He's really using those smartly, and that's why he got away with 3 kills in a tight spot like that.
Wonderful job. I don't even know if he got hit with any bullets. He's looking like he still might have full health here.
Yeah, he dived into a dead body mid-drop shot, and I think that took some of the bullets for him. God bless those dead teammates.
Now, we do have Voy that was on the windowsill. He got off. He's going to go underneath, most likely, head into Visa. But he has to regroup with Koxi.
He's low in health as well.
Not that it matters. With a 4K here. One more member to go, and it's going to be Voy, top of the circle stairs. And I think Eunice already knows this. He's going to go for a peek. He's going to grab the ace. What a start for PENTA Sport.
Eunice has always been a little up and down. Sometimes he has some excellent performances, and sometimes, you know, everyone else is doing a lot of the killing, so he doesn't get a chance. That was a good way to show off the start there with an ace without even really leaving the general area. Somehow managed to find all 5 without leaving like this small radius. Excellent use of his mines, great play, good use of his speed and flexibility as well. That was pretty much the reason why people are scared of Ella right there.
That is the reason why you bring in Ella, who is a 3-speed, has a 51-round magazine with a very powerful rifle, or a powerful SMG, and the Ella traps definitely aid in that.
Yes, even if you stun yourself, still going to get those kills. So we are going to see ARES actually, though, go to Garage first. They're not interested in starting lobby or top floor, but they are going to be bringing a Mute and a Bandit. Always interesting to see when that happens. It is useful. You see here, Jack going to block both the thing from being blown as well as the drone hole, which is nice to stop anyone from getting in there, although most people now rely on getting into piano instead.
I think it's worth noting, though, that for last round on PENTA's defense, if they can maintain that kind of control on the admin, they can play main floor, they can play top floor, and it's basically the exact same defense.
And that
if they can just constrain or contain the push from admin, because many teams attack from there.
And I expect PENTA to attack from there as well. It is a good attack spot. And you don't usually see that level of contesting of it, because it is difficult. I'm surprised we didn't see more grenading, because that tends to be a way, or flashing even, to be able to get in that better. And I think that might have been some of their downfall. But we are going to see our first Ying here. KS going to bring it. Again, they're not forcing the new operators necessarily, but they're definitely willing to play them. Hopefully that'll work out for him. KS, someone we've seen play IQ a lot on this map previously. So surprising to see the switch up there just because of all the cameras. And there is Valkyrie from Voy on ARES here.
So top of the yellow stairs is where Voy gets spotted out. KS waiting for a peek out here. And Eunice already going to be lined up at the windowsill, right on the other side of Void.
They're putting a lot of pressure on Voy. Really want to clear these yellow stairs, take control of those, so they can shoot out the batteries that way instead of having to deal with Piano, which I think is a good strategy because you can peek in pretty quick, although he's going to blind himself.
No, there's going to be the Candela. That's going to blind the push in from Fabian. However, he does move in, tags down a frag, and so does Pengu. KS going to pick one up here as well. Voy looking on down the yellow stairs, picks up Fabian. Pengu going to counter that with a kill onto Voy. It's now all up here to the lone Jack, and Eunice will get his 6th kill after round number 2, and it's going to be Penta 2-0.
Was that a plant like 1 minute into the round?
That was a plant about 1 minute into the round.
That was an excellent attack on Garage. I hope ARES gets a moment to think about what they could do differently, because that was just this dominant yellow stairs push attack, and that was, I couldn't even see all of the action. It was so fast on there. It was that was how you do it. Already Penta though, so strong to start out with. I feel a little bit bad for ARES.
So this kind of play style, this kind of fast-paced play is why the 3-speed meta is still a thing in the game today.
Absolutely.
Being able to just pounce like a tiger on the defense or on the attack, whatever side it may be, is definitely a reason you want to bring these 3-speed operators, get your plan in action as quick as possible.
Yeah. Interesting that they're bringing pretty much the same lineup, too, down for the Garage that they did for the lobby. Still with that Legion as well. Not sure we really got to see what that Legion could do, considering last time Judas just killed everyone before we got a chance for them to step on anything. So we'll say we might see a little bit more play outside of Judas on this particular bomb site, but I am curious where he's going to be roaming to, if he's going to be roaming on the Bandit, as he does with that. We are seeing the roaming Legion instead, though. I always think that's a bit risky, though. I think he's a better site player.
I feel as though that's the same thought that I have, because Legion becomes more powerful as the round goes on. So if he's able to last until the final moments of the round and maybe hoard some of his goo traps, he can just toss them out towards the very end where they're going to be pushing from.
And it's something Fabian actually said last night. Those goo traps can kind of work like barbed wire that he gets up to 7 of. So his flexibility towards the site and slowing down a push into site can't be underestimated sometimes. Well, they are going for a similar attack lineup as well. They're bringing that IQ again to see if they can get some idea where any kind of cameras might be, but they do have a Valkyrie this time, Goga being on that Valkyrie, so that might come into play. A lot of roam here. Actually, Pengu roaming smoke upstairs here. Already lost half his health. A bit risky doing that with smoke on a place where you know smoke is a great delay for a garage plant. We are seeing that more often in EU.
We're seeing a little bit more of that. There's not going to be an echo, so it looks as though either Fabian as the Legion or Pengu as the smoke are going to be the two defenders to basically slow down the plant when push comes to shove at the final moment of the round.
I think most of them are off-site as well. KS is going to have to be strong. We have seen strong mirror defenses before, though, on the garage all alone if they have a good setup.
And here's Pengu about to snipe Kaoxi, but looks up at the wrong time. Kaoxi will grab the headshot on a Pengu, but not before Eunice gets a frag here. Void's going to be inside a Piano, trying to open up some of the floor, gets rid of the battery charges for Kaoxi. However, that's going to be 1 charge down, I believe that is. Kaoxi's going to have 1 left.
Now, hopefully, they can get more angles in there because KS is going to be holding some hard angles, trying to counter any kind of push. And if he knows exactly where it's coming from, it's going to be a lot more difficult to make that push happen.
Eunice is still going to be topside with 1:20 to go. Void's going to terrorize this Piano floor, as we have, I think that is going to be Spoken right next to him.
So they're definitely setting up for this Piano take. Hopefully, they can push Garage just as well, but it doesn't seem like they have a lot of it open just yet, other than that one panel, I think. But Void is going to do some damage down here, try and clear it out as best he can. And that's why I was saying earlier, Buck getting picked over Jackal.
Oh, unfortunately, Void destroyed his team's Claymore.
Got to be careful there, bud. Those skeleton keys are pretty wide.
Now, I like what Eunice is doing here. He's just wasting time. He's not being aggressive, trying to get a nice peek, because they think Pengu was the only one up there. KS, however, is going to be taken out by, it looks like Spoken stuff. He gets Goga down, and the plant will be successful here as Eunice gets yet again another kill. He's not going to reach on outside, go for the shot into the tees, misses it, but he's able to get back inside. Goes for another long peek, and Kaoxi's there to take him down. It's all up to Fabian against 3 members from the attacking squad, and it looks as though this is not going to bode well for him.
Especially
he's looking outside, grabs 1 onto Kaoxi. Got to look up the stairs here, and they know there's not going to be a chance for him to do it. Fabian has to go out, and Safiz is there, and that's going to be ARES securing round number 3. It's 2-1 in favor of Penta.
That was a good attempt by Fabian, but I think maybe they were a little too spread out for that defense, because once they started kind of rotating back towards site, that's when they started getting picked apart, other than that peek outside. I mean, Junis was the one getting a lot of the kills that round, but him not able to stay alive to help Fabian out definitely put Fabian in a bad spot. He's a slow operator in terms of like versus a bandit, for example. So trying to peek that Blackbeard was going to be a little more difficult than he wanted, I'm sure. Not to mention the stairs was kind of a similar angle, so he was going to be very pinched there. If Junis had lived a little bit longer, I think we could have seen that potentially work, but Plant was down.
I think the push from ARES to get that plant down happened at the correct time.
Yeah.
Because if they would have waited a little bit longer, Eunice would have gotten that sense of urgency that I need to get down a little bit quicker, need to move down in towards piano/middle hallway, and ultimately they push in a little bit too soon, or a little bit soon enough, I'll say. Soon enough that it didn't actually happen or trick for Eunice.
Nice to see that ARES also likes to play lobby. Here they're not going to go straight up to the top floor, so far garage and lobby going to be what we're going to see a lot of, potentially, assuming they don't switch up to the console top floor, which used to be the most common site. So hopefully they have a good solid attack for this. We're not seeing necessarily the same bathroom setup that we saw, for example, from Penta. Looks a little bit different, but they're doing a lot of investment upstairs, which is pretty common for defending the site, especially using hatches, holes through the floor, because that doorway, for example, is at a nice angle. But we could see them go for a nice take onto Projector. However, it looks like they're starting with admin.
Actually, I think they have forfeited admin.
I mean, as far as the attackers go.
Yeah, no, sorry. The defenders have forfeited it. You can see all the barricades going down. Yeah. Giving Penta the option to take over admin quite easily, that's questionable, I'll say. Yeah. I'm very curious to see how ARES is gonna play this defense out.
We're gonna see Pengu engage Projector pretty quick here. He's definitely set up for it. I'm curious if Jock can hold this alone here.
There
definitely
it is.
Not going to.
Wonderful flash bang and a headshot from Pengu onto Jack.
Nicely played. I like the angle changes there. That's something I think a good repeller knows how to do, get those angles right. Obviously, you expose your head first in doing so, but ooh, boy, with the C4 kill on KS.
That's going to take out the Ying, so there's no more smokes or candelas on the board here for Penta. However, Safiz is going to be inside a corner office looking down towards the soda machines by Couch.
But he wishes he had that ACOG now.
That's definitely something that might help him in this long-range engagement.
Kaxi's on an interesting roam as Mute here. Mute is definitely something that's been an interesting roam play, sometimes because he can deny intel on himself, but I somehow doubt he's got a lot of jammers near where he's at now. Pengu, though, now has that top-down control from the projector room that's vital to attacking this bomb site.
Safiz has dropped out of the corner office, going up the top of yellow stairs, and it might be right in line of sight with Eunice. Looks as though Safiz is going to get droned out here momentarily.
You have the old school style castle barricades with the rotate hole from the impact grenade. Oh, looks away at just the wrong time.
Oh, what a flick by Eunice. He's on fire today. He's going to walk away from that engagement with 5 health as Kaoxi picks up a frag on a Pengu.
Pengu's already done his job for the most part, though. It's not a big deal, but Fabian getting dropped there, not going to be great for the last two, as I say that.
And here it all comes down to Goga. 1-on-3. He's going to move in towards bathroom. Sees Spook and goes for the pre-fire around the corner, and Spoken is there. And it looks like ARES tying this series back up 2-2.
Nicely done. Some great plays there. Both rounds taking apart the attack a little bit with some early kills as well. It wasn't a situation where it all came down to the last like 30 seconds for kills. You saw them kind of pick apart individuals. I mean, Pengu had a very nice start there, getting control of that, but eventually lost control, and you saw it kind of collapse from there. Not sure what happened with KS, but that definitely didn't help also, because he was going to be a bit of the spearhead as well, along with Pengu, having those candelas and smokes.
No, I think it was a really nice job there by ARES, and I'm happy to see it have worked out so well for him on that defense hold. Yeah,
and we are going to see lobby again, actually. This is a very lobby-centric set here. They're definitely both, I mean, it's the secondary for ARES and the primary for Penta, but it's definitely getting a lot of play here, which is good because we don't always see it. Like, we always see garage now, but not always lobby. So, looks like they're going to be setting up fairly similar. Fabian going to be on that Legion again. Pretty similar setup. Not sure if Junis is going to play that admin hold we saw last time. That was so vital. I mean, it looks like he could be setting up a little bit of defenses upstairs. Probably still going to be playing up, even if he doesn't play in that room. But they've got to predict that this time. I could almost even see a Ying play if they had picked one. Just Candela that whole room before you go in. Not going to happen.
I want to make sure that I want to see if ARES is going to change things up a bit, because they definitely missed some opportunities, whether it was gunfights, whether it was with information that allowed Eunice to be so effective in that admin hold. I mean, Blackbeard was already inside of admin, right on the other side of the desk. Eunice just basically ran inside of the corner corner of it.
Yeah.
And Blackbeard was there. That should not have happened. I felt like there was a little misstep.
You're so
there.
quiet as a 3-speed, though. Like, by the time you finish walking, there's like a half a footstep. But I could see Safiz going instead for balcony and just trying to push in from there as another Blackbeard push instead of dealing with the admin problem, just because he's very exposed in admin to all those rough corners. Ooh. Well, oh, there we go. No Judas, I guess, after all.
Nope, it's going to be Void taking him out. Very powerful kill there.
Not sure if he knew he was there or that was just lucky, but well played by Void. That's going to really impact the round if it's anything like the last time they defended lobby.
Now, this is the purpose of that mirror window that we just saw KS looking at inside a bathroom. It's going to be to stop Jack from getting into the window on the north end of the map.
Oh, Fabian's Legion trap there doing a little bit of goo.
Oh, Fabian peeking on over, grabbing a headshot on the Void, but that doesn't mean Kaoxi's not going to rush in, and he'll go down by Fabian, and then we have a trade on Spoken, who grabs the headshot on the Fabian. It's going to be a 3-on-2 now, as Goga picks up the refrag, and that means we have Jack and Safiz last man alive. It's a Blackbeard, and he gets one on the Goga. He still has Pengu and KS to drop for the count. It's a minute 30 to go. These rounds are happening in the blink of an eye, so don't blink if you can help it. Safiz going to be here, try to toss out a flashbang. It looks as though he will grab Pengu on that. Now, not only does that blind him a bit, but it does give a little bit of sound cue that you won't be able to necessarily hear.
Yeah, he's definitely in a situation now where he's going to have a tough fight against 2 near this bathroom here. I don't think he's going to make it.
No, he's looking high, and we have a shot from Pengu going low. And it looks Penta will go up 3-2.
Smart play by Pengu there. Knowing he was dealing with the Blackbeard, he could easily sit in that position. That intel definitely mattering there, because even Blackbeard aiming down quickly wouldn't have saved him necessarily, because he's going to have to land a lot of shots fast.
Yes.
So well played by Pengu. Also well played by Fabian. He did take down 2 before he died. I think one of those kills might have even been because of the intel from his trap going off. He knew where they were positioned, took full advantage of it, knew when to peek. So that was kind of what he was talking a little bit about during the interview as well. And I think, as we said before, that's a little bit of an underrated aspect of Legion that we finally got to see, I think, a little bit of.
Yeah, I agree. I think we heard the click of the goo mine go off, and seeing as how Fabian looks directly there, picked off a very clean headshot. To me, that was just, that was the epitome of what he talked about earlier.
Yeah, and that was a good use of that. Finally seeing some good Legion play in terms of justifying why you picked that operator. And taking 2 down is much better than we ever see most of the time with Legion. So good play there. We'll see if ARES can successfully defend the garage, though, as this, again, is their primary, not the lobby. They are going to be bringing the Mute Bandit again.
5 seconds to go.
See if that pays off. Also going to get some of these Valkyrie cameras out here. Curious to see if they're going to go for any kind of peek. Not sure if they're really interested in doing that all that much, but opening both windows, interesting choice. A lot of windows getting open. They really don't want to. Maybe they are going to go for a peek, but it's a little late to do so.
I think opening up those windows does 2 things, or opening up just windows in general or doorways in general, is it's going to slow down the attack most likely a little bit, force them to pay more attention to potential peeks because there's so many ways that they can be shot onto now. But if you're not looking at those windows, the attackers can get up onto them and then hold an angle, and you don't even know if the window's been opened up, if anyone's on the rappel there. It makes it very difficult for a defender if you're not keeping an eye on those windows.
Yeah, 2-way street there with a lot of. That's the beauty of the destructibility system of this game, is it works both ways. Doesn't give anyone any particular advantage unless they're smart about how they use it. Fabian, though, came in very aggressive, even just sledgehammering that castle barricade instead of using it to his advantage. It's like he knew Jack was there.
Oh, what a push, bait, and a kill.
Nicely done. It's like they pinched him with the grenade so that if he tried to run towards Pengu, he'd get shot. If he ran towards the grenade, he'd get blown up or shot by Fabian. Ooh.
Pengu going to pick up a 2K on the round so far after taking out Spoken. And Safiz almost bit the dust here earlier. We saw a couple shots by the Ash going down through kitchen to the wall.
So we've seen a lot of work by most of the members of the team of Penta here. Goga, the only one getting kind of deprived on kills for the most part, and KS as well. I'm sure they'll see some later in the rounds.
Now we do have half the round still to go, and 2 members off the board here for ARES. They're left with a Bandit, a Valkyrie, and a Smoke. KS going to be looking for the flank down. Void's going to be there, and it looks as though she'll take a couple bullets into the shoulder. Moves on over, and KS is there, and down will go Void.
So they still got Kaoxys, so they could still pull this off, but it is not going to be easy.
There's one shotgun kill.
See, he's starting it.
2 for him here. That's going to be a 2K.
I believe
He's able
in
to
you.
gotten off Fabian, KS, and Goga. Kaoxy has brought this 5v2 into a 2.
What did I just say?
You just said Kaoxy still on the board.
Jeez.
There it is. Now we are going to have Pengu try to move in forward. Again, this is going to be a 3-speed versus 3-speed. Safiz is there, but he looks to Ryan at the wrong time. Eunice and Pengu both move in at the perfect time, getting the crossfire. He goes down. Kaoxy is going to have to get an ace here if he wants to get his team a victory. Last flashbang goes out, doesn't do the trick. It will not blind Kaoxy. Eunice moves in. That's a 4K for him. Can he get Pengu? Are we going to have an ace here? It goes around the corner, and it will be Pengu with the last flashbang. And that's going to be it. Penta takes round number 6, 4-2.
If he hadn't landed that flashbang, I think there's a chance we could have seen an ace clutch there.
I thought Pengu's flashbang from kitchen to the back of white van, I thought that was his last flashbang. Apparently he had one more, and that did the trick.
Well timed. I thought one of the reasons they won that round was Pengu was playing smart most of the time. You saw him get a lot of pinches. I mean, in that situation where he said he looked away at the wrong time in the cafeteria, I don't think there was a right way to look at that point because he got pinched so hard.
I didn't see the pinch. All I saw was Pengu on one side and Bandit on the other. But no, you're right. That was a perfectly timed pinch.
But that was the second pinch of the round from Pengu, and I think that's why they did so well there. Although, obviously, Kaoxys just with a lot of really well-timed peaks and just great crosshair placement with the SMG-11. SMG-11 is a beast, but it fires the bullet so fast you've really got to be good on your crosshair placement to land those, and he clearly is, even with that hollow sight there, not having the ACOG for a while now on that gun.
So that was a 3K for Pengu, a 4K for Kaoxy. We are having massive gunfights here by single individuals.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of individuals. Like I said, there's some that haven't gotten a chance to shine yet, mostly because a lot of kills are getting taken by other people. I think we're seeing great performances, especially from Pengu and Junis, but Fabian also showing some great play. Kaoxy's obviously being a big player. Unfortunately, Goga's struggling a little with his throws. But I think we've seen some great plays from Voy as well, a little bit from Jack. So, I don't know, ARES maybe hasn't come as much into their own, but this is a strong map for Penta. So.
Yes, but it is their pick. It is ARES' pick. They left it through the ban phase. They knew they were going to have to play Penta on it, and it turns out that they might not have been ready for this kind of aggression from Penta.
Yeah, this round is their last chance to stay on this map any longer and not have to move to the next one. So they've got to bring something good. They are on attack here, so hopefully they've figured out most of the defensive setup of Penta, as it looks like they're running mostly the same operators, but may have changed up how they're doing it a little bit. No aggression here so far on the projector room.
Okay, so Kaoxy does see 2 holes, and I like the second hole that Pengu has. The one that he's looking at right now, or just went over. That's not a typical hole that you'll make in the 4. You'll make it right above the site.
Smart, and this is also the first time we're seeing the top bomb site on console here so far in this matchup. So this may be something where their ARES might not be as prepared for this as they might have been for lobby after attacking it a couple times.
Oh, now Eunice is going to try to challenge Kaoxy from the main lobby. Kaoxy is stuck inside of the bathroom. Fabian's also going to be in the back hallway here. They're going to try to pinch him. Couple ghost shots going to go through. Eunice, wonderful headshot kill through the wall. Picking up the thermite. That's Kaoxy off the board.
So much teamwork here. Void, though, going to have to deal with it now.
Yeah, now Void's also going to go into the same spot. Tosses out a drone.
Deja vu.
And here it is again. Void's now going to move on out. Eunice is there, but he misses the shots. It's going to be a little drop shot here from Void. He's now feeling a little bit claustrophobic. He's going to try to get out. He has moved over into the bathroom, I want to say. He's going to open it up, and now we'll get into piano.
Looks like in the meantime, Pengu taking some grenade damage, though. He's starting to fall apart upstairs, so this pressure from both floors might be working.
Oh, the call from ARES said, okay, we down someone inside. Void's going to open up the shotgun and get him on down. He's going to pick up Eunice as well as Goga falls. And there's Fabian and KS picking up some kills for Penta. 2-on-1. Jack's going to be the last one. He's going to go. He grabs a double. ARES still going to stay in it. It's now going to be 4-3, still in favor of Penta, but ARES is making a comeback.
That was all down to Jack and Voy there with some great plays towards the very end. A little bit desperate at the end, but they managed to land their shots quickly, and that's what mattered. I liked that skeleton key up through the floor there on that Pengu with low health, because they know they needed to clear out that projector room, but the way they did it was great. Get a grenade on him first, shotgun through the floor when he's not going to do anything about it. And so just well-timed, and then that that push there at the end by Jack, that could have really gone sideways for him, as it could have been a pinch, but the timing was slightly off, and he took full advantage of it.
I mean, you had said it at the beginning of this round that we haven't seen some players step up, and that's because they haven't had the opportunity to with some of the other players.
Yeah.
You actually mentioned Jack at the beginning. You had said it's not looking like Jack is one of those key players, but right there you can see he still has the ability to carry the team and be able to make plays that are seemingly unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it helped that Keoxys was dead, so he did steal his kills from him. And also, I think Void did a great job softening things up a little bit as well to give Jack that chance to shine, and I think he did brilliantly. So, again, that's why we're seeing the spreads be a little uneven. It's definitely not down to the quality of any given player. It's down to the opportunities that they're given and how well they play them. And so far, we've seen a lot of great opportunities used in this game. So
I think it's worth noting, though, too, that the players on ARES do tend to change up operators like we saw yesterday with ENTS. We see this with teams that are very competent and very flexible. Keoxy was on smoke earlier today, and now he's playing the mute while we still have a smoke on the board with Jack.
Yeah, they're definitely shifting things up just a little bit. Still going to play lobby, though, not going to bring it up to the top. But I think they had a pretty decent lobby defense, so this could work here. But this is still match point, though. They don't have any leeway to lose this round if they want to stay on this map. So they're going to have to work extra hard, but at least they're on defense now. If they could play it smart, they could have the advantage. Assuming they can maintain this top control that Pengu, we saw last time what happened here is Pengu took Jack pretty easily. So Jack's got to be a little better prepared for this.
Right under the window is going to be Jack, shotgun in hand, waiting for Pengu to make another peek attempt at him.
I like this. Rather than straight contesting him in a gunfight, he's using an angle to his advantage.
There's Pengu just flashing himself there.
Playing a little too flashy, but Fabian getting taken down early, that's no good.
Safiz is going to remove Fabian from play, start of the round here, and Jack gets hit with a second breaching charge from Ash. He's going to go down to about 30 health as Goga takes the 5.56 to get revenge on Voy.
This is slowly getting softened up here by Penta. Could see this swing down pretty quickly, especially with Pengu and that kill on Jack. That's what we needed.
Now, typically, we see Pengu here as a Blackbeard on this windowsill, but moving him over to a 3-speed with Ash is giving him a lot more versatility.
Seems to be working for him. I mean, yeah, like you said, he was a big Blackbeard main before, but he's been doing quite well on Ash, so I don't think it was a bad change.
And we do have Penta. They've secured Connector. They've secured above the B site, and they still have Safiz to go for the kill. Looks as though Yuna's going to try to go a couple shots through the wall. They've given Safiz away. Pengu's going to be there, but it looks as though as he tries to escape, Eunice is there to pick up the frag. It's all up to Spoken and Keoxy. Now, we said it before, Keoxy's still on the board, and here we are. He's now all the way underneath inside a kitchen, waiting for someone to drop on through, and he's going to move on over up the Visa stairwell here in a moment.
This is going to be tough, though. He's gonna need to rely on Spoken to cause at least a distraction, if nothing else, if he wants to get these kills, but they're spread so far apart here. I think they need to get a little closer together and crossfire for each other. Be nice to see if the C4 does something, though.
I like the C4 toss here. We've talked about it before previous seasons, how you open up the drop hatches. You can get anywhere inside of the B site, almost anywhere, with C4 toss if it's properly placed. And I think Keoxy knows exactly where it's coming from.
The beauty of that uphill vertical play.
Here it is. There goes the C4, and it misses its target. However, Spoken has picked up one kill. Chaos has also taken mighty damage here. So the looks like Plant might go down. Here's some shots going through the smoke grenades, but it looks like Plant will be successful. It's still a 2-on-3, and this could be the round Penta needs to win. Pengu picks up the first frag. It's all up to Spoken. He's going all the way top floor now. He's going to try to take the same angle that Keoxy just fell from. It's all up to KS, Pengu, and Goga to take out Spoken. Diffuser has been planted. There's 35 seconds on the board. Pengu's going to get picked off nice and easy. Spoken now looking on through the holes in the floor. He's going to hop out on the balcony, try to go for a jump kill, and not going to happen. He is not detected, though, but he was heard. That means Goga's going to grab the frags. He drops on down to the floor. Penta's going to win this 5-3.
That was a strange choice, jumping through the window that wasn't opened. That's going to make a lot of noise and give away he's approaching, as opposed to jumping out the one that was open. Not that it made a difference in the end, as no one was watching it. They were just more concerned with the door. But Penta, I think, deserved that win just sheerly off showing a lot more teamwork than we saw from ARES. We saw some great individual plays, I think, from ARES, but overall, you just saw the teamwork. You saw them coordinate with each other. You saw them trade the kills, trade the frags, or even pinch a lot for each other. So it was very impressive.
Eunice, top of the board with 12 kills, 5 of which were done in the first round. Spectacular plays from Penta.
Yeah, I think overall, they just played to the top of their ability there. I'm surprised the way they were playing that they even lost as many rounds as they did. And that's not a knock on ARES. I think ARES was doing a fine job, but just Penta were on spot there doing exactly what they should be doing. Doing Penta things, and they did them well. So
now let's take a look at some of the highlights from this fantastic first matchup. And this is Eunice's ace. He grabbed 1, he grabbed 2, he's then going to go for 3, and that's number 3 on the board. He's then going to move on over, grab Kaoxi down as he comes on through that middle hallway. That's 4. This is number 5, picking up Voy at the top of circle stairs. That was the first ace of the game, and what a magnificent start to Penta's victory.
Absolutely. Fabian with some good plays here as well, both on Buck and Legion. I like the sledge plays as well, but he couldn't quite clutch that.
Yep.
Pengu, though, with a nice fight there. He eventually managed to win again later, but it was a lot harder.
There's some more flicks from Eunice. I mean, this kid...
this kid.
He's got a lot going for him here, and Penta's got to be happy he's on the team.
It's like he's played this game before.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. What I was very appreciative of was the fact that Penta chose to go with a lot of Legion. We don't see that often, and I think teams struggle trying to fit Legion into their strategies, trying to fit him into the way they worked as a team, and Fabian made it look very effective.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not convinced that there weren't better choices, but I was happy to see him win gunfights and use the intelligence that he gets from those traps effectively to get kills, not just to say, hey, there's someone over there. Good highlight there. That is the difficulty of those throws. The fun of throwing things outside instead of in.
So here it is. This was a wonderful call there by ARES. I don't know who made the call, but Void took it upon himself to go fight the kill from below as well as pick up Eunice inside of the center reception.
Excellent clutch by Jack there as well. Just perfect timing, good mobility, and a nice flash there by Pengu. Well done. Didn't want to see how that ended right there.
No, Spoken almost able to get the clutch there, but ultimately, nope.
Nope. I mean, we didn't see a whole lot from Spoken, but I do think he is a great player. It just we didn't get to see a lot of those plays where he got to save it. But there's another map, so there's another chance here for all these players to shine here. Definitely a lot of great players on both teams.
I was definitely impressed with a lot of the individualistic play on ARES. I want to see it work a little bit more in the teamwork.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm talking about is with Penta. The one round they were attacking the basement. Pengu was always in a position to capitalize on a crossfire, capitalize on a very fantastic and short pinch. That's what I want to see ARES get to. They have the player skill to do it. I think they just need a little bit more working together in regards to synergy.
Yeah, you could see the mobility and aim skill there as some of those late kills, especially once the player count had dwindled. Once Penta didn't have the ability to pinch them as effectively, that's when you start to see ARES getting all those kills.
Yes.
And they're able to take advantage of one-on-one fights, but they're not able to fight pinches and stuff. And if they are able to actually at least maybe play a little closer together, set up more crossfires, or maybe it's just a communication thing, I do think they could really take it to the next level if they could find that out.
I think so as well, and regardless of who comes out on top in this match, the loser still has another opportunity to make it to the playoffs. So whatever team struggles in the next map or 2 maps, if it be ARES, if it be Penta, they're going to have an opportunity to revamp themselves for 2 weeks' time and come back stronger.
Yeah, and there's a good chance, you know, with this being border and that being a very strong map for Penta, that we may have to say goodbye to ARES for the moment in terms of waiting for them to try and work their way back.
Yeah.
But either way, I think this is, again, going to be a close match. I don't think this is going to be any kind of 5-0 or anything like that. But, of course, now me saying that, it will be, right? So I'm looking forward to it.
Our second map, again, is going to be on Border. And Border is one of those maps that we have seen time and time again, lots of different strategies for, lots of different defensive holds on multiple different bomb sites. Let's head into the game here as we get underway, because it's time for map number 2. And ARES has got to be ready for here.
Curious that they're starting on Armory Locker's Archives, because they were one who actually started customs last time they played this, which was an odd choice for a primary, but they might have just been testing it, might have decided it wasn't the greatest, and just gone with this, but I believe they won it. So
I think they won it, but they also had to be wary that Penta also favors that bomb site.
Yeah.
So they know how to defend it, they also know how to attack it, which you have to be cautious of.
And this is one that was actually their third kind of choice, it seemed like last time as well. So hopefully they're doing this specifically, like you said, to deal with Penta and the way they attack. But this is also one that they know Penta is going to be the most practiced on attacking, as this is the primary one for everyone else as well. So I hope they have kind of a surprise in store for how they're going to deal with the typical attacks on this. I mean, most of the time you see a CCTV push, so we could see Voy playing in there, for example. But they do have a Jaeger and a Bandit, as well as a Pulse, so any given number of those players could be on a roam play and just leave Mirror there on site. I don't know, though. See how they set it up. Looks like they're still kind of getting things going here.
Yeah, we are seeing a strategy very similar, or a setup very similar to what we saw yesterday on Border, with the entire fountain being reinforced. All 4 walls on fountain, bring 1 mirror window, make sure you can cover office internally. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing here from ARES, is trying to keep a hold, maybe as a possible fallback. But Fabian just bolting right in, using the drone as a little bit of bait, and he'll pick off the first kill onto Jack. We're
seeing a lot of aggressive Fabian pushes, just like we were with him Sledge on Consulate, but the drones are obviously doing a great job here. You see him getting on his drone again. Well, hopefully Safis can actually survive this.
Oh, and there's the call, and the hunt is on. Safis is going to have to stand ground inside of inspections. KS going through the office, sees him and shoots him on down. That's Penta picking up the first 2 kills of the round.
That was entirely credited to Junis's drone, just sitting there underneath the inspection table, working its magic, and that's 2 roamers off the board already, and only a minute into the round. Very excellent execution by Penta. Great drone play and good roam hunting.
Now, Penta is very spread out here, but I think that works to their advantage with regards to their push and their collapse and their crossfires and their pinching.
Yeah, now that the roamers are down, they can absolutely spread out like that. Roamers, if they were still alive, then that would be a little worse because they could get flanked and have to deal with in 1v1 situations, which is where ARES does a little bit better. But you're absolutely right. These are going to be pinches here by far, because they kind of know the positions the defenders are going to be in at this point.
Yep. I mean, you know one's going to be in fountain. You know one's either going to be in middle office or by the half wall of lockers. Right there, you can see Spoken. This is right where he should be. But Chaoxy's also in a very predictable spot. Buck's going to terrorize the ground from underneath, trying to force them out of these common angles. C4 goes out, does no damage, and does not get rid of anything. That wall will get opened up. Chaoxy picking up a kill there on a KS, though.
KS has been playing a lot of that Ying, and unfortunately doesn't seem to have been doing a lot for him so far, but I like that he's still trying to make it work. Not a super important operator off the board, though, I don't think, because you still got Junis on the Hibana along with Pengu on Ash. That's going to be some aggressive firepower coming in, and Pengu is going to take full advantage of it right now.
I love how Penta, oh, he's going to push on out, grabs Goga. Can he get the Ash? No, Pengu missed his drone, but he did get the shot on the Chaoxy. However, the trade goes down, and now it's a 3-on-2.
I'm not sure if that was really worth it. I don't think the Thermite was as big a threat as Pengu, but it's still nice to at least get a kill out of that and not be a complete sacrifice.
What I did appreciate, nice job here by Eunice. What I did appreciate was that Penta did not assume that the close wall was clear.
Yeah.
You had Pengu get on drone. Unfortunately, it was just the power of the 3-speed. Rushed on out to the west balcony, picked up the kill.
Speaking of power of the 3-speed,
there he is. It's now all up to Voy. He downs Fabian. Plant's going to go down inside of A. To his left side is going to be Eunice. Eunice holds onto the angle, looks for a pre-fire, and Voy's already expecting it. He's now going to move on over through the main hall. Eunice turning around, expecting it again. And it looks as though Voy's going to go for the long turnaround. Pengu's already moving towards the doorway. He's got a nice angle on it. Voy is not likely to win this one. There it is, and Pengu comes out on top yet again. And here it is, Penta securing round number 1 on map 2.
You could see clearly from the silhouettes. They knew exactly what his rotations were and just cut all of them off one at a time. They cut off him coming back. They cut off him going the other direction on the hallway. They cut him off at the doorway. It was like, good luck clutching this one out. Feels bad for Voy, but it was a nice attempt. I liked what they tried to do, but losing those roamers early on is really what cost them that round. The roamers were a little clumped up as well, kind of both in customs is what cost them. They really need to be cross-firing for each other and set up in a trade situation and not so exposed to areas where people enter. Like, it looked like he was set up to try and counter Fabian entering there, but being so close to an entrance meant you couldn't bait them into a crossfire. It was going to be a one-on-one gunfight, and he was hoping to have that advantage, but you got to know Penta drones.
You got to know Penta drones. You got to know Penta baits with their drones.
Yeah. Fabian actually going to be bringing that Legion again, so despite the map, he does think there's some good uses for it. Clearly going to be playing off those, and they're actually going to be starting up top floor as well. So this is seeming like, despite the quirky other map sites they like to choose, they're going to go with the standard.
I have to feel that Fabian and the rest of the Penta crew, they are bringing Legion for the fact that Legion is not common, but yet still effective. So it's almost like how teams sometimes bring a Frost and put down Frost traps in less common spots because it's not something that is common. You can't really predict where those frost traps, where these lesion traps are going to be,
although
because
in this
it's
case,
not into the quote-unquote core meta.
In this case, they did drone him, though, while he was doing it.
They did drone
they
him.
have some idea there's some in CCTV, but again, you can't see them afterwards. So
Yeah, they're very difficult to spot, yes.
And they're very small, so good luck finding. It's like trying to find the Echo drone. It can be very difficult at times. So yeah, they know that there's some in there, but then they're like, okay, well, we don't know where not to step. So yeah, again, I think that is a good point, being kind of related to Frost in that sense.
Now Eunice will get droned out here as Spoken hops up over the banister. Oh, I think he missed him.
How?
I think he missed him, and if Eunice would have just been a little bit more careful.
I'm sure Eunice is going to assume he was droned out either way, though.
Yeah, he's got to make that assumption, but...
Yep, there it is.
Nice collapse. This is what we wanted to see from ARES. Being able to pinch, they did so very successfully on Eunice.
If they keep playing like that right there, what they just did with that pinch of the drone, just the way Penta did, I could see them taking some rounds off for sure.
Definitely.
But they need to keep that up. I mean, I've liked Voy on Buck. I think he's been doing a pretty good job playing that particular operator. Kioxi's going to be kind of the point man here to try and catch Fabian if he can, but Fabian's being a little sneaky.
He was down at the bottom of the west stairs, baited out the sound from for Kioxi, and now he's going to be looking towards this hole.
Yeah, like he's using the hole there to kind of give himself a little bit of extra information, but it looks like Kioxi is being very careful. This is where he needs Void's drone to help him perhaps get some idea whether there's someone nearby. Oh!
There are some shots, little engagement, little skirmish happening. Kioxi and Fabian will both walk away. I think about even damage done to two. However, Kioxi is going to try to challenge this a little bit more, opening up the drop hatch with his breaching charge.
Did a little bit of damage to Pengu, too. Had it been a little closer, that might have been almost a down. But that is going to help soften him up just a little.
Now the push from ARES is going to be onto the west balcony towards lockers. Void going to pick up a kill onto Fabian as a trade comes down on Pengu.
Seems fair. It's not going to be easy getting into sight, though, but at least they have a minute left. This is definitely doable, especially with the man advantage.
Now, we do see the wall opened up by lockers. That was done by Jack. And right now, it's going to get underway here. Kioxi is going to be underneath, picks up yet again another kill here. KS goes down. Pengu, he's got to be wary. He wants to maintain control of this middle office, but he's got to do so against Kioxi. Kioxi's not going to let it happen. He's going to steal one more kill. It's all up to Goga. 3 health and a dream as Spoken is injured. And I think Goga's going to turn around here, go for a kill. Jack's already there, takes them on down. ARES wins round number 2.
Well, that was unfortunate timing for him. He gave them a chance to pick him back up, and that left him in a pinch situation. That was a no-win gunfight, pretty much. Had he even taken down one of them, the other one would have been right there to trade it. So, unfortunate collapse there on Goga at the end. Regardless of how much health he had at that point, I think he was kind of doomed. But I liked some of those plays, and like we were talking about, there was a lot more teamwork there, especially with Voy. And that really worked out in their favor. Also, they were peeking a bit aggressively downwards. Fabian was, as well as Pengu was, and I think that kind of hurt them a little bit because they wanted to maintain that control top down, and that's where they started getting shot from below. So, like we said before, those holes work both ways, and Kioxi's and Void knowing how to fight upwards definitely paid off.
Now, the second defense here for ARES is going to be downstairs in inspections and customs, which you were anticipating being their first bomb site.
Yeah, it was one that they primaried previously, but you never know. That could be a test. I'm always a big fan of if you're going to try an off-bomb site, try it the first round. Because, A, you'll get a better chance to know if you can successfully defend it without losing too many rounds when you're at a deficit, but also you throw them off because they're not going to be with the right lineup to attack it. So,
I think a third aspect of that is if you do successfully hold it down, you then get that morale boost saying, we did it on this one that we were quote-unquote not 100% confident on.
I almost feel like that's been Continuum's mentality sometimes, is they like to do that as well. And I think it's worked for them, so I definitely agree with that. We'll see if they can hold it, though. I imagine Penta is not too concerned. They're one of those teams that also will bring kind of a standard lineup regardless of the bomb site sometimes. We've seen some teams that are like, we just know which operators we're good on. We're not as concerned about the bomb site as we are how we play it. And so I like to see that here. I think they'll be fine. This is the angle we like to see from Avian, for example, get a lot of picks from previously. More teams using that, taking advantage of people running out. There's that drone there, droning for Junison, as well as Goga's drone. They're really trying to get some good intel so he can push in aggressively. And he's got the diffuser, but he's pretty far from the bombs.
They're going to need to take out either lockers or admin, or sorry, or CCTV, but right now it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy feat here.
Yeah, Fabian looking like he's going to try and find someone soon, but they're just slowly making their way in, taking top floor control. And it's not being heavily contested yet, but Fabian does find one.
So if he's trying to be sneaky going in through the west corridor, and like we just saw there, Fabian already ready for it.
Interesting angle from Spoken there. We'll see if he can take advantage of Fabian. If they don't drone properly, they might not catch him, and Spoken could get that free kill onto that buck. There he goes for it. Doesn't work out, though.
And we still have half the round left to go. Voy is massively injured up here. He's going to have just about 5 health remaining, and I think he actually got down onto site. He went back towards the main lockers.
Unfortunately, I was going to say he could get picked up if he's back on site, but he's going to get picked up by Goga in a different sense.
Wall's going to get opened up by Fabian. Jack's not ready for it. Pengu also going to make his move on a Spoken. It's now all up to Kaoxi. He will not get a single frag here as Fabian is ready for it. And ARES, unfortunately, will not take round number 3. Penta goes up 2-1.
Interesting, instead of trying to push CCTV early, they did the opposite. They took control of both sides of it and then pinched it afterwards, knowing that people were going to fall back to there because of that drop hatch being open, giving them access back. So it was just good timing and a good use of that buck as well, opening that up, getting some shots in. And then we're going to see ventilation now finally. So a secondary choice here from Penta this time going to be vents.
This is what we were talking about before. 3 out of the 4 bomb sites. It's likely we'll also see the 4th one of Tellers.
Yeah.
But Border has definitely come into its own over the course of the past 2 seasons with regards to now we don't just have 2 bomb sites. We don't just have top floor and ventilation. We have these array of bomb sites which we are seeing strategies develop for.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to see it from ARES unless they're really feeling confident on it, though, because they're on the back foot, not just on being a point behind, but also being a map behind. It is risky if they're not feeling like 100% on that particular bomb site. We've seen what happens before when teams try and get cutesy on the bomb site picks when they're behind on points, and it just generally doesn't work out. Not that I don't like it and enjoy watching it.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen a castle himself outside of the site or outside of a location for the site. But
reconsidered.
It's going to tear that back down. They are, again, playing downstairs, and they just need to maintain control of above both sites, and they are doing so here.
It looked like Fabian was maybe calling some stuff out as well, so they may be making some last-minute audible adjustments to how they're defending this, which, in my opinion, sometimes if they have found a weakness in the enemy team, can be great, but it can also be a problem because it can be a defense they're a lot less practiced in. Boy, though, if he can get droned for properly here, I see good things working out for him. But it looks like they're going to want to clear out as much of the east side as possible first. Just clearing out cameras, making slow progress, but Kaoxi's at least already into the office. This is a good start for him.
Yeah, they're making some quick progress.
Having 2 people stacked up here can be good as long as those 2 are ready to crossfire for each other, because they are in tight positions to get out without pinching from the other side.
Now, Kaoxi right now, he just opened up the floor looking down into the bathroom, trying to get 2 ideas. Do they have someone inside a bathroom? And if not, is there still an opening for them to navigate through? And they do have a hole in the wall, but no one's in bathroom.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting a little slowed down here, having to do some more droning because they're a little bit worried about those roamers upstairs because they know they need to clear them out to be able to attack downwards, but it doesn't seem like they're completely confident where they're at, and Junis is going to shatter that confidence here if he's able to sneak around unfettered if Voy's drone doesn't catch him.
Yeah, I think Voy's just getting his drone into a spot for any of his teammates to go for, should he go down or one of his teammates. Now, Voy's just going to move in forward a little bit more. Eunice, again, going to be at the top of west stairs. And what he thought was going to be a safe passage is now one that he's got to double check.
I think he could be a real thorn in their side, though, because Pengu's in a nice solid spot ready to do his thing, and Junis is going to be the one to come up and help if Pengu starts taking fire. It's going to be hard to pressure him out of there once Junis shows up.
Now, this is just a bait that Voy's setting up right now. He's just got his drone in position, making sure, hey, I can see if someone's coming up the stairs. Then he's just going to lean to the side and grab a kill. But there's only 60 seconds to go. KS has taken massive damage here, sitting with about 15 health underneath on the main floor.
Yeah, this is a bit slow for what they need to be doing. They don't really have any kills on the defenders yet, and Safi's going down early is not going to help, especially if they needed those EMP nades to actually get the walls open. This could be a big problem for them here. I'm not seeing this going the way of ARES.
Void does pick up that kill into Fabian. Wonderful shot there. Kaoxi, though, he's going to open up some of the wall and be able to move in after Jock kind of clears it with his drone. Void still going to cover this angle as Eunice is sitting at the top of the stairs. Nade goes out, forces him down. However, he's right back up, goes for a peek, and it looks like a wallbang's not going to happen. It's not going to be in favor of Void. He goes walking away with about 20 health. 20 seconds to go. Spoken's going to move on in from Fountain as Goga's here inside of lockers, and he is holding down the fort, being droned on out at the moment. He's likely to fall back here momentarily. Jack picks up Pengu as Pengu got Kaoxi down, and now Spoken grabs another kill. 5 seconds to go. C4 gets tossed out, but not detonated. Void's going to come in with a heavy kill, but get removed from play as Eunice also goes down by Spoken.
Wow, I mean, they actually managed to take that, mostly because they exploited the weakness of the site, because there were so many people off-site. Once they were able to get in and actually kind of clear that out, forced Eunice to have to push in last minute, that actually worked out in their favor. It was definitely close there. You saw a lot of different situations where people were kind of teasing each other out on that top floor. Good roam play overall, but unfortunately too much roam play, I think, as they weren't prepared to fall back to site as soon as they needed to. Eunice probably should have been there earlier, and in coming in late, they lost it.
I think with about 20 seconds, the 20-second mark is when they should have fallen back through the drone or through the drop patches, got back to site, because the attackers have to push. They have to drop in. They have to go for the plant.
Yeah, you have to know that that's coming in.
Yep.
And in that case, I think they did a good job opening it up early enough from the attacker side to manage to actually take site control before Eunice had that chance. And I think that worked out for them in the end. Looks like fairly the exact same scoreboard almost, except for the last person not having 2 instead of 0 between these two guys. So this is a very nice even match here, 2-2, similar scores. I think this map overall seems to be fairly well balanced between these two teams.
And we did see the first matchup on Consulate go 2-2, but Penta pulled right away after that. They didn't give ARES another chance.
Yeah. In this case, now we're seeing ARES go to the ventilation room, so they're not going to go for customs again this time. So this could work out in their favor, as customs just didn't work out so great for them, I don't think. They are bringing that Echo, though, and a Pulse, so this should be interesting to see who goes on the roam play. I imagine the Echo is going to be sticking around on site. Maybe the Pulse as well. We can see everyone else on roam with the 3 up top. But at least we'll get ARES, or Voice setting up his Echo drone.
There's going to be a C4 tossed on out. Fabian already expecting it. They tried to go for the same kind of maneuvers again, but Eunice, again, another final amazing pinch. Eunice peeking up from the top floor south balcony window into the atrium.
Lesson learned, don't roam customs when these guys are coming in, because Fabian knows how to play that, and his teammates know how to make sure it works. So excellent pinch. I really like the way Fabian has worked as this entry fragger, because the way people have been droning for him, it's generally been working. Even if he doesn't get a kill, he gets in fast and clean. And Pengu taking on Kaoxis early, that's the smoke. It's all going to be on Echo to try to delay anything.
That's not going to be a delay of anything. This game has been going so quickly. Penta's not even going to let it go down to the last 60 seconds.
No.
They're likely to try to clamp on down here for the next 60.
This is the second time we've seen them clear up 2 roamers within the first minute. They've really got their drone play down, and it's paying off.
Now, Void was getting droned out, and I think it was Fabian had the right of way with the angle, but missed the opportunity. We are going to have the defenders start to get back onto site. At the top of lockers, I think, is where we saw Spoken drop. Safiz is going to go down with a trade onto Eunice. That's actually a good trade. You want Eunice off the board, but you want to try to do it without going down yourself. 1:30 to go, 2 on 4, and Penta's about to make their move onto the Echo. Void's about to go down here. After the nades go out, flashbangs go in. And Void is now feeling a little bit cornered, claustrophobic. He's got to move on over.
I bet he wishes he had smoke left to help
Here's
him
this pinch we were talking about. He doesn't know which way to look. He's looking back and forth, and down he'll go. Spoken, though, going to pick up Pengu on the crossfire, and he's going to be the last man alive. Grabs yet again another kill before Penta takes him down and grabs round number 5. It is 3-2.
Nice effort by Spoken, but they had such a solid pinch there that it was kind of doomed. And that's why I love pinches so much, because it's a situation where just the sheer physics of trying to win 2 gunfights on either side of you are nearly impossible. And unless you just flick, drop shot, spin around, do some crazy 360 no-scope action, you're not going to get both of them. And Penta knows how to use that time and time again, but they're only at a 1-point lead.
So the flaw, I'll say, or we'll call it the gap, or the way to beat this pinching game that Penta is throwing, that the Penta is putting onto the defenders, in my opinion, is to challenge one.
Yeah.
If you are being challenged, if you are being pressured, or basically if you are being pressured by Fabian, by Eunice, whoever it may be, you can't run away. You have to take that fight. Even if you get droned, yes, you're going to have the lower hand. You're not going to have the upper. But it's better than running into someone where you don't know where they're peeking from.
And I would say, kind of going along with that, I agree to challenge properly with the aggression, but also there was a lot of cover in that room that could help cover you from one of the flanks. Because you know where the bathroom flank's coming from, for example. Cover yourself from that one, fight the doorway, and then deal with the bathroom afterwards. But easier said than done when you're in a situation where you got 4 people coming for your face. So we are going to see, I think, Vent again here from Penta. Venta.
Now, what they're doing here, instead of just holding onto lockers, it looks like they're also going to hold onto archives. We saw a mirror window facing into Fountain.
Yeah, they definitely want to make sure that this top floor stays secure because a lot of the pressure hasn't actually been coming from the CCTV side like we're used to seeing when people want to take this. So they're doing a better job preparing for a push from a different side. And I think that's smart here because that seems to be, you already see Jack, for example, droning that side. You know they're preparing to come from office. Definitely set up for that. Yep, Penta will be well prepared for this. Last time we saw a lot of jockeying for position and teasing out with the roamers, especially with Eunice. Pengu not even getting into a fight until much later on. They need to speed up this roamer clear because last time that's what cost them big time.
Yep.
Kaoxi's holding that angle there, but Nash holding an angle I think is always a bit of a waste. Oh, Junis right on the other side of the wall, too, from him. They know he's there. They've got to know he's there. And I like this mirror window and battery here, trying to lock him into this spot.
Now, the way to potentially get around this is to have this angle covered by Spoken. However, we might be seeing then Kaoxi prone his way underneath of the window.
Took a bit of damage, unfortunately.
I think he did that last round, or last time,
yeah,
too.
He did.
Hit himself with his own breaching charge.
He's having a little trouble with that, getting a little impatient. So Junis staying alive again much longer than he like. He might even hit it with some electricity damage there if he's standing too close to that wall.
It is going to zap him a little bit. He went down from about 30 or from 40 health down to about 25.
Well played, Junis.
Still hitting it a little bit. He's down to 15 health now.
He's going to die by battery here at this rate. So unfortunate for him. That impatience really hurting him here.
I think just magnificent game awareness by Eunice. Yeah. They are going to try to rush in. Kaoxi's seeing it's all clear.
This is a good start, though, getting this push this early, but still 55 seconds left, and they didn't clear any roamers off the board. I don't know if this is going to work out.
Here we have KS now going to be inside Mattress, looking for the shot onto Jack. Will he pick it up? Yo, no, he won't. Jack's going to walk away with about 1 HP. 35 seconds to go. Kaoxi goes down by a gas grenade from Pengu. Wonderful stuff from above. Eunice going to be above as well. And Spoken now going to rush on out of office, move on down, try to get into the tellers, and he'll have to come in with Jack.
He's got to get in there pretty quick here to help his teammates, or they're going to start falling apart from above.
Now Spoken moves in. Pengu's with a hard right on the shotgun corner. He's looking for the kill. Grabs one. No, he misses. He's going to potato with a double shotgun miss. Spoken picks up the kill, but Fabian KS going to grab some as well with Goga. Jack goes one on the KS. Now it's all up to one here. It's Void. Can he grab one? He does. He's got Fabian and Eunice to still go. 3 seconds left. Eunice goes to the drop. And Penta will secure round 6, going up 4-2.
I think that went a little better for ARES than I expected. Obviously, they lost in the end by just not getting enough kills, but they were able to actually take a lot more control of the site than I would have expected because of all the roamers upstairs. I think they just abandoned them at some point. But after wasting that much time trying to find them and then not getting anything out of it, I think in the end burned them because they still were desperate on time. But it was still a nice try. I liked what they were trying to do. Unfortunately, a lot of their other attackers weren't there to support early enough to actually secure the site. I think had they shown up earlier, had you had the Thatcher and the Habana there earlier, they might have been able to actually take that site, then set up, bunker down on those defenses, and make it work. It was interesting to see that missed shotgun shot, though, did work in their favor, but unfortunately.
He's pinpoint accurate with a gun that you have to be pinpoint accurate on. The spread of a shotgun, I don't know.
Just doesn't know what to do with it.
Just doesn't know what to do with it.
Didn't matter, though, in the end. Penta won that round, and now they're up 2 rounds. And the most important part of that, of course, is that is match point when they have won, well, map point, I guess, as well, because they could, if they take the next round, just move on forward. And that is it for ARES in this match. So they've really got to secure this bomb spot here. Hopefully they've got something smart up their sleeve. They're really just going to, I mean, honestly, this round for ARES, for me, needs to be about countering those pinches. If they can't do that, it's over. They're done.
They are going to need to somehow like you said, counter these pinches, whether it is don't get in those pinches in the first place, or whether it is challenge one side of the pinch.
I think generally the best way to do it, if you can, is you set up a crossfire from a position that's secure to the other side of the pinch, and then you just bait them in. The problem with that, though, is there's a lot of grenades and flashbangs in play that kind of make that hard.
Counter the pinch with your own pinch.
That's right, pinch the pinch.
It's like,
only way to do it.
It's an eye for an eye, but a pinch for a pinch.
Yeah, and you just got to make sure one side of your pinch is covered, then you have the asymmetrical advantage. But good luck. There's going to be a lot of pinching going on, like when you visit your grandma. So we'll see if they can do it. I like this, just looking
my grandma
around.
was never really a cheek pincher. She was more of a I'll hug you until you die sort of person.
Yeah, unfortunately there's not an operator for that yet.
No, there's not a Care Bear operator yet.
They'll get there. A lot of work coming out trying to get spoken here. So much attention just staring at the ceiling. It's weird for a Buck and an Ash to have to try and take out through that floor. It's like they're just having trouble figuring out how to kill him, and he just leaves instead.
Now, Kaoxi, actually all 5 attackers, or all 5 defenders are still upstairs. Obviously, it's where the bomb site is. However, they are not opting to go with that roam game. They know they don't have the ability to afford another loss early on in the game.
Yeah, they need to stay close to site. Like I said, set up his crossfires, but Pengu already trying to set up one of his own here. Get some nice shots there. Void, though, is still alive, and that's what matters. They need to stay alive as long as possible, do exactly what Penta does to them, and make them burn a lot of time hunting the roamers by keeping them unaggressive. And Safiz, though, finally showing off.
Now, what needed to happen, I think, is we needed to get Buck underneath. Oh, he's going to go for a pre-fire around the corner, pick up Safiz, goes to half wall, tries to get Kaoxi. That's going to force him out of the half wall here, and we might see him get picked off in a moment. No, looks like KS wasn't ready for the shot. He'll move back over to the middle window of lockers.
Pressure is starting to cook here with less than a minute left, though. Now that they've got some people off the board, Spoken starting to lose a lot more health here. This grenade could finish him off.
There it is, and boom goes it. Fabian picking up a 2K on the round so far. 45 seconds to go.
Collapse is coming as you see KS getting his Candelas ready here. This is all going to be down to Kaoxis to hold tight.
Jack, though, going to take down that bottom pressure. That's Fabian off the board. A 3-3, 35 seconds to go. Candelas are going out. Smoke's going to go out here in a moment. The plant's going to go down by Goga as well. They just need to make sure that no one's going to be behind that window as the plant's going to go down here. Voy, though, grabbing Eunice, but not before Jacques got taken out. Voy as well now down. It's all up to Kaoxi. He can clutch this. Looks like he will not. And KS grabs the final kill of the round. It's going to be a 5-2 victory for Penta Sport.
So, liked what ARES did overall in terms of actually going down and countering them in there, like, because they knew they were playing a lot downstairs, especially that Buck. And they kept putting pressure down there. Unfortunately, every time they got a kill out of that, got traded. And that, at the end of the day, is unfortunately what cost them. I mean, as we were talking about, they needed to stay closer to site.
They did.
And be ready for it. And they did, and then they came out and got those kills. But they probably should have done it, I don't know, maybe at the same time so that they could have traded more so instead of just losing it. Because once it came down to the collapse in the site, hardly anyone left, just Voy and Kaoxis.
I think ARES is gonna walk away from this with their head held a little bit high, not as high as they were. I think they were expecting to perform a lot better. But one of the takeaways that I hope they see, going back to Zavad, taking a look at their performance, I hope they recognize that one round where they did manage to create a very effective pinch. I think it was round number 1 or 3.
Yeah.
But if they can take that round, expand that kind of mentality, that kind of philosophy into their other strategies, whether it is on Border, on Consulate, or any other map in the region, or any other map in the pool, I think that's going to elevate their game to the next level.
And I think they showed, like you said, some examples of it.